Welcome back to another edition of Against the Grain Sports. Today, we talking about Super Bowl predictions. Tampa Bay versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, you know I got to bring my guy on to talk about this NFL, man. I need to know what his Super Bowl pick is. So, Jody, come on in, man. We need to talk about this Super Bowl, man.
Hey, how you doing? Once again, how you doing Against the Grain audience? We're back.
So we talking Super Bowl today. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Before we even get into predictions, give me a little insight on how do you think this game is going to go?
Well, you're looking at two teams that have high-powered offenses. The Kansas City Chiefs and that kid, Patrick Mahomes, he looked like he can't make any mistakes at this point. I mean, this guy has won 6 straight games going into the playoffs. They barely beat my Cleveland Browns, but they did beat the Cleveland Browns, which had seemed to be their toughest test. But then you go to the NFC and you talk about Tampa Bay. And everybody want to talk about Tom Brady and what Tom Brady did for that team, but it's actually been defense. And a rising star is Devin White at linebacker, number 45. I think he's going to be the next superstar at middle linebacker. He's going to take that mantle of Ray Lewis and those other linebackers in the league where he becomes the best linebacker in the league. I think he's going to be the X factor in the game if Tampa Bay has a chance to win.
You got a lot of confidence in that kid. That's what's up.
He's only in his second year out of LSU. The kid is fast. He makes plays in the playoffs. He's already made so many plays in the playoffs, and he saved them against Green Bay. He got a fumble recovery against Green Bay. He had an interception against New Orleans. The kid is just a playmaker at linebacker.
So we got Tampa Bay and Kansas City. What is it that Tampa Bay did to get here? Because when we first heard about Tom Brady even wanting out of New England and going to Tampa Bay, I know my first thought was he about to set himself back.
You know, I thought the same thing. I didn't think that he had it in him. I thought him being separated from Bill Belichick was going to be a misstep in his career, but it actually has showed that it was more time than it was Bill.
Not to cut you off, they got a meme on social media too where Tom is on the phone and they got it to where he's pretending like he's talking to Belichick and Belichick is mad and throwing his phone down. But I thought that was funny.
But my thing is that, you know, when you go get a plethora of weapons that Tampa Bay went and got, you know, they went and got Antonio Brown out of retirement. Before he was, you know, suspended from the league, he was arguably the best receiver in the game. He went and got Gronkowski out of retirement, who was arguably the best tight end, not only in the game, but maybe in history. Then you have a Michael Evans, you have a Godwin and a wide receiver, 2 guys that had 1,000 yards receiving last year. Then you add some offensive line help that Jameis Winston never had, but we'll talk about that on a different time.
So if Tom Brady never comes to Tampa Bay, does Tampa Bay acquire these guys?
Absolutely not. I mean, you think they would have put that energy into Jameis Winston, which I thought you would have. He was only 25 years old, and he was the number 1 pick in the draft, and I feel like they left him out the draft. But that's for another episode. We're talking about Tampa Bay. I do hope that Jameis Winston gets to resurface his career and re-energize his career because he had some good playoff moments in New Orleans, but New Orleans is out of it. So if we're sticking with Tampa Bay, I think that's what they did. And then let's go ahead and say, you know, let's address the elephant in the room. The NFC just wasn't that tough this year.
So with Kansas City meeting Tampa Bay, how do you feel like Tampa Bay got to where they are now? I mean, not Tampa Bay, but Kansas City. I mean, I know Kansas City is the defending champs, but in the NFL, it's really hard to get for the defending champs to get back to that Super Bowl the next year.
I mean, plain and simple, it's Patrick Mahomes. The kid is the best football player I've ever seen. I know everybody. He's only 25. This is the best football player I have ever seen. And it's not to mention the quarterback position. He's just, right now, I feel like he's the GOAT already.
Wow.
And I said it on Against the Grain Sports. You can quote me in 10 years, and I bet y'all be saying the same thing. But I'm just going to get ahead of the curve. So my thing is him, and then let's not undermine what Andy Reid has done as a head coach.
Okay.
And not just Andy Reid, but Eric Bieniemy, that offensive coordinator.
A lot of teams is reaching out to
Why is he not a head coach? Hey, why is he not a head coach? Eric Bieniemy, he's a young black offensive coordinator. He used to play running back for the Cincinnati Bengals, and he played for Colorado Buffalo when he was in college. Won a national championship as well. He has to get opportunity, but he's one of the key factors on Kansas City's success.
And that's for another show too, because I do want to kind of delve into, you know, the coordinators and the defensive coordinators taking, you know, head coaching jobs after they've either reached the Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl. You know, that's for another show though.
But also when we do that show, I also want to say how many black head coaches it is in the league, they're not getting their opportunity. But we'll definitely talk about that in further shows.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Okay, Super Bowl predictions. Give me. I kind of already know who you're gonna pick, but give me your pick and a final score.
I'm going to definitely go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I just don't. I just can't see Patrick Mahomes losing. He's Tom Brady 0.5. I mean, this kid is just, he has every attribute. The defense will make just enough plays. The Honey Badger on defense will make Frank Clark, those guys, Tony Jones, Chris Jones, those guys will make just enough plays on defense. Because Kansas City is a team that, as long as the defense can keep that team under 28, Kansas City has a chance to win. That's why I'm picking Kansas City. And if I'm going to go with a score, I'm going to go 38-28 Kansas City.
38-28 Kansas City. I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. I keep seeing in my mind, you know how you watch those old movies where it's the old washed up guy and, you know what I'm saying, he gets one more shot at winning the title and getting the girl. I see Tom Brady doing that,
Not
man.
this time.
That's what I see. Also, I see the score more of like 41 to 27.
You think the Kansas City only gonna score 27 points?
Yeah.
That's why this is against the grain sports, and it's on camera. We'll be back.
How many times have we seen a high-power offense get to the Super Bowl and then they can't even score and their fans be pissed?
What happened last year? They scored last year, right?
Okay, that's last year. This is a brand new year.
And it's a better team, and they're playing against a weaker team. I think the San Francisco 49ers were a better team than what Tampa Bay is this year.
Hey, we'll see, man. It all plays out on that field. Coming up next, we got the GOAT conversation. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. But before we get to that, we're going to talk a little bit about Tom Brady and his cheating ways. We'll be right back with Against the Grain Sports.